this week. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. And yeah, just getting everything set up. Waiting for Rizzo. Just set up the live stream. Got that going. So today we're going to be kind of talking a little bit a recap of our Rizzo and I's experience. He went to EthDenver as well. We were both there. I'll talk about some of my takeaways that could be beneficial to you, creators, artists. And oh, hey, Rizzo. Yo, I'm just talking to myself.
Trying to take PCL. I'm in some weird death spiral with the temple wallet that keeps popping up by default.
Oh no. Hey, Masca, thanks for joining us. Hello, everyone.
We're good.
Yeah, I was just saying, giving a quick overview of our tentative plan, since as everyone who's been joining us for the last, how long have we been doing this? 5 months. It's always tentative. You never know what's gonna happen. No, but yeah, like we're gonna start until our guest comes. Maybe the overview of our takeaways from EthDenver this year, and then yeah, at the second hour of this today's event, I will be just jumping into Blender and doing some builds, kind of like a makeup event for last week's hiccup of technical difficulties.
Oh my god, come on, let me in.
Temple is still giving you a hard time?
Yeah, this like, I don't know why. Yeah, for some reason, Temple Wallet's like popping up. Temple Wallet has been popping up by default, and sometimes I have to refresh in order to log in with MetaMask. But right now, it's not cooperating at all. I need to like disable Temple, I think. I would love to hear your takeaways, actually. So we were both there, like obviously for the first couple days, and then we sort of like went separate ways. Did you end up there on the very last day?
No, I had too much. I have like too much work to catch up on, and since I went to Camp Biddle, I had been there since Sunday.
Oh right.
You know, I was already like.
So you were there before me, yeah.
Yeah, I was there I went to 2 of the 3 days of Camp Biddle because I had work. You know, some people go there one day because that's all they can do. But yeah, maybe I'll start with Camp Biddle. I think Camp Biddle, even if you're an experienced dev, have done it before, I meet so many nice people there. Like I connected with just all these cool builders and local, like there's, lots of people from Denver as well, but everyone tends to be from all over. But just that part is like always my favorite, I think. I'm always telling Rizzle, you should go to that, even though it's like, heavily this year. Normally, oh, hold on a second. Sorry. Normally they have like a UI UX track, at least the last 2 years, but this year they just had the dev track, which is where I want it to be anyway. And especially with, all the advances in AI. And this year here, let me make sure I get his name right. One of my I think my favorite thing of all of EthDenver was, let me open his name up. Let me see if I got it right. Actually, I have a picture of it here. Let me make sure I get his name right so I can share it with you guys. He is like the lead. I think I told you already, the lead dev guy from, where is he? Here it is. Okay, Austin Griffin. He is Ethereum Foundation head developer of Growth. He gave a talk at, he actually gave 2 talks at Camp Biddle. One talk was to the dev side, and then I couldn't make the other one, but they had technical difficulties because there's always, whenever you gather thousands of people who are, focused on the internet, there's always going to be crashing, right? Nothing works. So that presentation didn't work. But like, he's like the head dev, and he basically is like, has like 6 Claude bots running 24/7. He doesn't write code anymore. And he was just like, saying basically, this is the time for people like all of us creators and builders, who we don't need teams. We could just ourselves do whatever the fuck we want, and not to sit around and wait around for daddy money bags. It's like, that doesn't exist anymore. Just build your shit. Just go for it. Don't sit around. Especially like, you don't have to be a dev. You can just, obviously with all the tools we've been chatting about with vibe coding, all that stuff, obviously when you're going to make it more robust, it does definitely help. Like, I wish I could have a download of his brain, an expert level that he has, especially, I mean, obviously knowing like the devs that I talk to, like who've done it since they were like 5, they have a whole nother level of knowledge that can make it even,
Yeah.
1,000x what we know. We can 10x ourselves. They can like a million x themselves. So like, but he was just him sharing what he's doing. He didn't really. He shared some projects that he's doing, but like his excitement and stoke for, you know, basically saying all the solopreneurs, this is the time, just run with it, go and just dive in and start building shit, right? So
Yeah.
oh,
No, when I got there, so that like, so you were basically telling me that right off the heels of Camp
Yeah.
Biddle, which is when I showed up. And actually, that was like a great, like, it was great to talk to you on the heels of that, because I felt like that actually sort of, that was the vibe. And that sort of like set the stage for really, I think, the attitude you had to come into for the whole event in order to, you know, take away something good from it. Because obviously the event itself was like way smaller than it was in previous years, but you're absolutely right. Like the toolkit that is available to us is insane right now, and what you're able to build. You know, I think about what you're saying, and I met like a whole bunch of people who were doing the same thing. They're like pulling up like their Claude bots on their phone
That's
that are like
awesome.
working for them, like on their behalf.
Yep.
While they're standing there talking to me, I'm like, shit, I need to like get with.
I know. I need to get it on my
Claude bot
Telegram.
shit, right? Something. But it's also, so you're right. They can like 1,000x with their skills, because you know, anyone who thinks like I understand that like AI writes code now, and so like probably not going to need people to manually write code maybe ever again. But I saw the exact same thing that you did, where the people with that background knowledge right now are the ones who are like 10 steps ahead of everybody else in terms of being able to like understand how to like really break down these toolkits and use them to their advantage and maximize them and everything, because they're still like I've, you know, I was trying to sandbox my shit and I still have to get back to it. I'm getting closer, but like it's a pain in the ass to like get any of this stuff like really working properly and on your behalf and everything. But you know, I also feel like so even though they can like, you know, 1,000x. Yo, what's up, Juxton? Let me just finish my train of thought, and then we'll introduce you as our guest. Even though all these developers can like 1,000x their skill set with these tools, I don't think the rest of us are at too much of a disadvantage, because you can just really take an idea and build it into something like usable now, like unlike, you know, any time before. So despite them having maybe being able to build more sophisticated stuff, you can still like build incredible things just from start to finish that like work and other people want. And I'll tell you about like my interactions with Snacks out there, who built I think you probably I don't know if you came across his like little planning app that he made that like I used the entire time I was out in EthDenver. But you know, all these people are just building shit that they want for themselves, and I think because of that, we start to see like a lot of really cool stuff, because we're getting like usable things, not just like stuff that venture capitalists have dumped a ton of money into to like somehow harvest our data. Like people are just building shit that they want, and it's a cool vibe from that angle.
Definitely.
What's up, Juxton?
Why don't you do the intros then, Rizzle?
So if you're in DCL and you don't know Juxton, you should know Juxton, because Juxton is an absolute legend, builder of Frankie's Tavern, which is an iconic place in DCL that from back in the day when DCL was a barren wasteland. You would just have to cross the desert of DCL to find Frankie's Tavern and get a virtual beverage and hang out with Juxton crew. Yeah, OG. So happy to have him in the house. And I don't know how to do. That's my intro, Joe. What's up, man?
That's awesome. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, perfect. You sound great. I want your mic.
Well, yeah. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, it's good to be here. Yeah, I've been in the space for a long time. I've not historically talked. I think Rizzle and I, we've known each other on here for 5 years. I mean, going on 6, and I think we've only had maybe 2 or 3 voice conversations. So this is
true.
It's new for me, but yeah, I've been in the space and I work full time in the space too, like outside of what you see me do as Juxton.eth. I have a whole real life that I do a lot of Web3 development in my real life. So a lot going on. But yeah, I think going forward, I'm going to be, it's back to square one with all this stuff. So just like, there's a lot less noise now. So I feel like I can really connect with people authentically. And yeah, there's a real opportunity, I think, for community building here and building generally, right? I mean, yeah, Rizzle has been around. I've been around and we've just continued to build. There's many awesome people that have just continued to build year after year. And we're going to keep doing it. So it's good to be here with the folks that are left because you are the real folks. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, I think your audio.
Yeah,
oh, cool. I wasn't sure if your audio wasn't working.
Sorry, my dog's just about to murder whoever's like walking around in front of my place. So I was just trying to mute. No, it's great to have you, man. Yeah, Juxton is an absolute legend. Yeah, so I could pick Juxton's brain forever, Fractalians, and I were sort of recapping EthDenver a little bit. Juxton, I know you weren't out there. Have you made it out to EthDenver in years past?
No, and actually this year, because I just lost my job a couple of weeks ago, this actually would have been a great time for me to do it, but I just had some other stuff come up. I used to be out in the Southwest, and I'm originally from the East Coast, from the Mid-Atlantic, and I was living in the Southwest for a number of years, but now I am back on the East Coast. So I'm actually closest to Florida. So like maybe Basel or something would be the next easiest opportunity if there's like what was that called, the NFT
Art
stuff
Basel?
in Florida. Yeah, the Art Basel.
Yeah, Art Basel.
Yeah, so maybe some of that stuff or NFT NYC. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to East Coast stuff. But no, I've not been out to Denver. Yeah. But I come from. I mean, just as a little background, I'm a software engineer, and I've been doing software development for most of my life and web development. And so I went to school for computer science, and I'm like of that kind of mindset. So I'm definitely into Ethereum development and like that kind of serious software development too. So I would love to actually go to something like that because it's been a long time since I was in college, and that like academic attitude, as it goes along with like ETH, I think is really cool and like inspiring. So yeah, I'd like to see that one day in person for sure.
Dude, it is cool. And this year was like the first year because of like the tools that are available out there. This was the first year that I got to go from the standpoint where I can kind of LARP as like a dev a little bit. Like I can actually like, build some things on my own. But dude, I'm interested to hear like, considering you have like a real computer science background and I'm just like out here vibe coding shit. Like I'm interested to hear like just your take on the tools out there and how the landscape has changed for someone with your background.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I've been writing code since the mid 90s when I was like a youth on AOL dial-up. So I've been around. I like literally was part of the beginning of Web 1. And I saw Web 2 happen. I learned Ajax and asynchronous JavaScript and XML when that was coming out and became Web 2. And I've been here for part of Web 3, and I'm only in my early 40s. So I've like seen a lot, right? And writing code by hand was cool and something I was always into. But after you do it for like 2 decades, it's kind of old hat, and you definitely feel like what's new or exciting about this is just kind of the same thing. So when AI coding came around, well, I mean, I got introduced with AI stuff through Midjourney on X when they were first starting to show some stuff, and it blew my mind. Eclectic Method was like the first one who I saw like really playing with it, and I was like, what in the world is this? And then really quickly, I got into the image stuff. It took me a minute to get into the coding, but I started working with Copilot first and had a pretty good experience with that. And if there's any other devs out there, Copilot from my experience, was very good at working with like local change, like a single file change. So if you're working on one file and you're like, I need a function that does something, it's good for that kind of stuff really quickly. But definitely had some limitations with like working with larger code bases or refactoring or like architecture kind of stuff. So, and then in the course of my last job and working in Web3, we were working with Codex, which GPT Codex, which is incredible. And now I'm using it for like 90% of the development that I'm doing. And I treat it as like a peer programmer. It's set up to do code. So if you use GitHub for like your repositories, you can set up with Codex like automatic code reviews to review all your code. Or if you're working on a team, you know, code review and merging PRs and things is like kind of a lot of the grunt work of like working on a distributed software project. But yeah, Codex solves all of those problems. And for refactoring and things, it's brilliant. So yeah, I mean, I lost my job a couple weeks ago, and in like 3 days on the couch, I built this web app. I'm also really into meditation and stuff, and I'm like a Buddhist and a Dharma teacher and stuff in my other life, in a separate life. And I do visualization practice with my meditation, and I just vibe coded, so to speak, a website which is like a visualization tool to help me with my visualization meditation practice, like on the side. So that's like a completely different thing. But like what you can do with this stuff is pretty incredible. And if you're not using it, you should be. And if you have reservations about it, that's good. I think it's good to have some reservations, but at the same time, it's really going to be necessary that you have to adapt to this in particular, because you just will get left behind. And I'm looking for jobs now for the first time in this current landscape. And yeah, I mean, the expectations are really high for these positions. The competition gets really, really high. But if you know what you're doing, it can really, you know, people used to talk about like 10x developers, and like this actually, I was never a 10x developer, you know, 5-10 years ago, but this makes it possible to be a 10x developer, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, I mean, and I haven't even tried to use it for the DCL stuff. I mean, I wrote Frankie's Tavern by hand. The original Tavern I wrote in 3 weeks, like with Frankie. We built the whole thing in 3 weeks. And then I, you know, continued to add on to it, and then upgrading to SDK 7 took a while. I did that by hand. But man, if I had Codex to do that and just say like upgrade this code base to SDK 7, it wouldn't have been perfect, but it would have gotten most of the way there, which would have been wild. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing around with DCL and Codex. But I haven't tried Claude Code or any of that other stuff yet. Yeah.
I feel like Frankie's Tavern should have a built by hand in whenever it was.
No, we did that in November 2020. Yeah. So it was like right before Thanksgiving in 2020 in like 3 weeks. Right between Halloween and Thanksgiving, basically. And then the bull market, and then like Bitcoin broke 20K in December. So that was like just a couple of weeks later. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, we watched it on the TV. I mean, yeah, and we did that whip party, that 24-hour. You remember that whip party, the 24-hour whip party?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a music festival.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
Harrison First and Eclectic Method and like all kinds of people. Yeah, and we awesome. Actually we did a 24-hour live stream, and we ran it through the TV at the tavern. It was nuts. Like, I mean, that was, I think, a first. I mean, I don't know if you ever did anything like that in Voxels, but a 24-hour live stream party in the metaverse, had that been done before? I don't know. You know?
No, I don't think so. And it wasn't possible or like reliable to be able to do it in Voxels at that point. It was like DCL was like really the only option available. And that was just like such a crazy time in this whole space, where it was like right on the cusp of like that whole crazy hype cycle and everything. And yeah, we were just like, let's have a 24-hour music festival. I think it was New Year's Eve or something like that. And people turned out. There was like tons of people there. I actually, this is so funny, man. I haven't thought about that in a long time. I was like, ready to sort of hand it off, and got basically sucked into staying up for almost the entire 24-hour music festival, because I had like lined everybody up and like organized the thing. I think I made it to like hour 22 or something like that. And then I was like, but that was insane.
Yeah. And that was anyone who was there has the Frankie's Tavern. That was the New Year's Pope that we did, we only did 2. But that was the first one. So there's only 2 popes associated with it, with the tavern, and yeah, that was the first of the two, the New Year's Eve party. Man, that was crazy. Shoot, there was something else I wanted to say, and I just completely blanked. But
That's great.
yeah, I mean, it really
DCL
was a crazy time. I mean, like, yeah, I came in when you all were doing stuff at the DCL core space, and then Cent was doing stuff at the 42 building, and Frankie had set up the video stuff, and man, it was like early days, man. Yeah, it was crazy. And then it just absolutely went insane. I wish I had sold all the mana. Still got it, but yeah. But yeah, what a wild ride, right? But you know, in Rizzle, we were talking earlier about like projects closing. You know, I think there's really DCL is really continuing to show its stripes. I don't know if that's the right metaphor, but like continuing to be a beacon, right?
Relevant,
in this landscape.
yeah.
Like stuff continues to shut down. And DCL isn't just like flatlining. It is actually getting better and better all the time, which is just remarkable. You know, I stay out of the DAO. I don't know how much of a mess that is, but from the product standpoint, things are looking fantastic. And you know, very, very happy that this is still here, and that we're still meeting in this place, right? So it's awesome.
No, I agree. It's amazing. Every time one of these projects shuts down, it like sort of underscores the longevity of the other ones. And yeah, there's not a lot of survivors from like sort of the first wave of big projects that were launched out here, and DCL is definitely one of them. It's yeah, credit to them. Oh yes, you got a forum?
Yeah. I just pasted it. Because Augie, I think we shared that last week. Augie's working on an emote for us, so everyone who signs the form or anyone who signed any of our forms will get it. Over the last 5 months, I'm just going to create like one giant form. But yeah, if you guys are new here, fill out the form and be sure to add your info so you can be included. I can't wait to see what he makes. Sorry, the side note. I'm like, I better do that now before I forget.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm doing it now. It's fun. It's Juxton.
Awesome.
Easy.
Ooh, I got your response. Cool. See you in real time. I know, seeing the evolution of Decentraland and me being a part of it since, like, you know, I was a DCL reporter for a year with Kevin on Earth back in the day. Like, so most of my experience was reaching out to all the, and I mean, it was more like we were like historians documenting shit that's no longer, you know, most of the stuff, probably 99% of it's no longer in existence. And like, you know, just hanging out with, it was just my excuse to reach out to people and be like, hey, can you talk about your cool thing? But yeah, I miss those days of like, you know, doing that, and just like the level of stoke, and not just because the markets were, you know, definitely different than now, but like it just felt more like fresh and new and less jaded than, you know, some of the stuff that has happened.
Yeah, I can remember that vividly. I mean, I'm having flashbacks of being in Wonder Zone, and well, first all the alpha that happened in Wonder Zone in the early days was actually like, if you wanted the alpha, that's like actually where the best alpha was in 2020 probably. But I can remember I was definitely one of the people to onboard. I can remember the day that Kevin on Earth and Peanut Butter like came in to DCL for the first time, and we're at Wonder Zone, and I think I was one of the first people that they interacted with, and I was like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think I helped like onboard them. So it's interesting how it continues. And now you drop into Genesis Plaza, and it's like I think there's incentives for people to be kind of like greeters now, which is cool. But man, like it's cool to see that continue, right? It's like, oh, let me help these new people try to figure this thing out.
Totally.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Rizzle, can you remember? I mean, well, Fractilians, you may remember too. Do you remember the old Genesis Plaza that was just like with the arches and like a little circle? Not the cloud one, but the one before the cloud.
Yeah, I do. I just it's all one big blur, but yeah.
I have on an external hard drive, I have screenshots and video clips of all of that on a hard drive that I've not gone through. going back to the very beginning. I
This is
was
our
taking
history.
screenshots. Yeah,
That-
I mean, I have it. I just need to go through it. But I actually have a lot of all those early days of Wonder Zone and like the mega cube parties. Oh man,
Yup. Mega Cube. That's
mega
where I
cube.
got my
People
tiger
lost their
suit.
damn.
I
Yeah,
know.
dude,
Mega
people
Cube
lost
was
their damn
amazing.
minds.
Yeah, we had Talk
Mega
Sam.
Cube
Was
was
it 2
amazing.
weeks ago on here? He was
Yeah, something
awesome.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's crazy. It really like again, credit to DCL for not only keeping the lights on but continuing to build. That was just like such a crazy time, and it really felt like if you would have said in like 2026, like almost every project that was launched back then would just be completely decimated and the landscape would be like so fucked. I wouldn't have even believed you because there was such like momentum and it seemed like, it was only going to grow from there and the attention was only going to get larger from there. And, it is cool that a lot of the real core community that started it all is still in existence. It's still like is passionate about what's going on out here, and obviously the three of us were here like since jump and are still doing things out here. So I don't know. It was just such a crazy time back then.
Yeah. I think it's hard for the people that got burned financially, which is a lot, to look past it and say like, oh, I still want to like play with this thing or still want to build with this thing. It's hard, because it's, to be real, a lot of people lost a good amount of money on even DCL, which was and continues to be a good project, depending on where you came in. And that's, that part sucks too, right? That's like the worst part of a bull market is like all these people who are genuinely interested and excited and they kind of like catch this hype right at the wrong time and it just, everyone burns, That's been kind of a little bit hard to see. Not to turn it into the other way, I guess, taking a little bit different direction there. But I guess I'm wondering history, like why do people stay and why do people like drop off and I'm at a crossroads right now with my career, like Web3 or not Web3, and I think that's a general feeling that a lot of people have right now, like generally,
Yep.
Right
was
there
this
with you.
real?
Yep.
Was this just an ideal? Did we get ahead of our skis? But I think that's a normal phase, and I think we've been through that phase before. I've certainly been through that phase before, so that will pass at a certain point too, and then it will turn around. Sentiment always seems to do that. So confident, I guess.
Yeah, it's like once the speculation bubble popped, then the people who were left were basically about the same people who were there before the speculation bubble. But I think we're left with, you always pick up people along the way who are like actually passionate about this stuff. And I think once a lot of like platforms and companies realized or had to figure out what to do beyond the speculation bubble, a lot of them floundered. They were like mostly surviving off of like speculation and everything. And so, not everyone was able to pivot or either pivot into making something that people actually want to use or had that in the first place and everything. But I think it's good because every time we go through one of these cycles, we're left with like much better stuff, broadly speaking, for the individuals to work with and everything. But it was tough to see like a lot of really cool, innovative metaverse stuff, is sort of gone by the wayside or has not continued to be built out. But I think the longer DCL sticks around, Hyperfi sticks around, crypto. Who knows what CryptoVoxels is doing? But I think Russ is out there building hubs. There's a lot of cool platforms out there that are so far beyond what we started with 5 years ago. So I don't know this stuff. I think the good thing we've always had going for us is that the core community just is actually passionate about this kind of stuff and really finds it genuinely interesting. And I think as long as you got that, it's a slow burn. We continue to grow over time, but stuff is really getting cool, especially with like the AI integration into the metaverse stuff. I have not played around with it either. Juxton, I know you were mentioning with it. Who do we have on?
We had
a few
Nico
weeks ago?
Earnshaw, Nico from
Yes,
Foundation.
thank you.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was making awesome stuff with it.
Yeah, he was. They did
That's
the
awesome.
whole vibe coding thing in the Regenesis lab. You know, they had that. So he was talking about, yeah, what people built and but also his own, you know, projects and stuff.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go look at that. Yeah, Nico was a huge inspiration.
I
to
know,
me,
he's awesome.
when I was coming in. Pablo also.
Yeah, definitely.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, I mean, Monaverse. I was with Monaverse for a little bit after Ethermon. I worked with Ethermon, and we were building out their district. And then I was with Monaverse, and Monaverse for a minute was working on some generative environment stuff. And they kind of pivoted and have changed positions since. But I think there is like a real opportunity to, like, to your point about the generative. There's really an opportunity for people to just do, like, you know, create your own world on the fly and go explore it. You know, instead of watching a movie, you could like create your own game effectively on the fly and go play like in a game as yourself or something. You know, for an hour.
I forgot you were also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I forgot you were also at Monaverse because we were both there for like a year plus, Rizzle and I.
Yeah, I was only with them for like 4 months myself, and it was a contract. It was after Rizzle. I will say no comment.
Yeah, I know. That's why we left too. No comment.
Yeah,
we jumped ship too.
Yeah, through circumstances, I no longer was working there, and a number of good folks with me were no longer working there.
Yeah.
And we moved on to the next thing. But I wish them well, or I wish Juxton well. He's still out there doing this thing. So the CEO of that.
Yeah, no, likewise. It was fun while it lasted. I mean, we did Let's Break Things World. It was a blast.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I think the metaverse still has real applications. I think just like Ethereum, it's still trying to find its market fit, you know, and it may be different than we originally thought. Like, you know, I was really anti-desktop client for all of these metaverses for a long time. And now I'm like, oh, I don't know why I ever did that. You know, and I, as a developer, I was running so as a DCL developer working on Ethermon, it was like we were working on an estate that was like hundreds of parcels. So I was running hundreds of parcels in localhost in a browser on like a 10-year-old MacBook Pro. It was like actually insane. And then trying to do like, and frankly, the stuff that we did in Ethermon, like I hope it's well documented. I need to go back through that as well. It was actually revolutionary for what was happening, and still, there's nothing on the level that we were working on, and then it's just all gone. Well, I mean, it was using these Ethereum and Polygon assets, and like you had a multiplayer environment where every character you could switch through your Mon inventory. So we had a 3D model of every single Mon in the inventory, which was 300. Within that Mon, there were 9 different animation states. And then you could actually battle with yourself and your Mon versus another player in their Mon in the 3D space while crossing like complicated scene boundaries because of the way that the districts needed to be cut up. So we had to create a system which would, even within the estate, you have like different groupings of parcels. So we had to write not only that multiplayer system, which I'm talking about, and I wrote all the UI system on top of that, which was very complicated at the time and resource heavy and not optimized. Now you can do it with like React stuff, which is incredible. But that plus we were the ability to synchronize those states between scene boundaries. So you would cross a scene boundary and be able to re-instantiate your character with all the UI like in a seamless way without the user knowing that it's happening. Like we were working on far out stuff. Yeah, we were working on, I mean, just to get the Mons to follow, you could walk around and see other characters with their Mons following them. Like this was not, these were not smart assets. We had 300 GLB files that were sitting on a disk. And if you switch to one of those, it would load it next to you, and it would have 9 different animation states. And then we had all kinds of levels. The district was not built at ground level. It was built up so we could have a tunnel system underneath all of the battle arenas, which we had built. There was like a whole underground system that was being built. So we couldn't even build this stuff at like a singular ground level. So we had to do battle systems that worked off of the base axis. The ability for Mons to travel upstairs and into buildings across colliders. That's very complicated. And then synchronizing that between players is also very complicated. So it's like we were far out,
that's
dude.
crazy.
And then
you were.
And then we had we had the guild system on top of that. So then it linked out to a website, so we had weekly leaderboards, which you would battle in DCL and you would compete and earn stuff. And then you could go outside of that to a React website, then create guilds around it and compete in that. And then we had all these automated systems for, ERC 20 and 721 and 1155 rewards every week, and like all these on-chain Polygon things. And then we had all the 2D battle systems on top of it, like on the website Ethermon, like ethermon.io, which was the OG 2D version of the game. We built the whole 3D. Like we were the example of what a metaverse project is, like taking these old assets and building an entirely new game on an open metaverse platform. I don't think anyone has ever done it. We did it. And I'll say some more in private. I won't say it on here, but there's something really interesting about the project. And it really should be documented. And it's really crappy how the whole thing went,
What is the story, man? I remember the project, but I did not realize the level of sophistication that went into the metaverse component at all until you said it now.
Yeah, and this is to say we also had different biomes. So we had the whole district, which had shops and stores and things like that. But then we had the battle biomes. Each biome had its own enemies and your mons have different character traits, like Pokemon. So there's type advantages and class advantages and things like that. And we had different biomes with different enemies and different bosses and mini bosses. And then you would actually craft things to fight the end boss, which unlocked another biome and blah, blah, blah. Holy crap. And Rizzle, I just went off on a big tangent there, but Rizzle, you just asked me,
what happened? Did the project close up, or is it still out there? What's the state of? Again, man, it's crazy. Like, not only were people like spinning up like massive companies and projects during that time, but people were building projects within projects, like like this one within DCL and everything. It was really like a fascinating time period.
Yeah, there was a team of like 6 of us developers. We were truly international. It was like 1 Hong Kong, 1 Paris, 1 England, and I was like on the West Coast time, and there was like a New York person. So we were like, it was like crazy trying to schedule stuff, but small team. And I was basically on a contract, and they just simply didn't renew my contract, totally fair. They just simply didn't renew the other members' contracts when those were up. And they basically just quickly shuttered the project. They sold the IP, and nothing what I say is legally binding. These are my own thoughts and feelings. So they sold the company to a company in the Virgin Islands. I don't know the relationship between those 2 groups. It may have been, I don't know, They sold all the IP. The new group spun up the IP on Monad, and it's really strange. You can find it out there. So it's like it's Ethermon, but it's kind of like on this Monad testnet or something. And there's like this kind of convoluted way to kind of get the mons. You have to like send the money, and then like it mints them on the testnet and stuff. And I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, what? Like, why would they take this thing on this thing that with this well-established project, and then like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's just sad to see, but to bring it all back, I think maybe one of the big opportunities of the metaverse in this go around is to see if we can actually like live up to this thing that we've always talked about, which is that these assets live beyond the death of the company. We find, right, if it's not on Arweave or something, the infrastructure is not there for it to even exist. But will people actually take that stuff and build something new with it, or can they with the way that things were structured? So like Vipe would be a great example. Like, can the community or could a number of like hackers effectively revive Vipe assets and make it all work again? And Jin, I think, was working on some kind of stuff like that. But that's going to be the real test, I think, this go around. Or that stuff just all disappears and DCL DCL becomes the king and DCL wins, you know, and everyone just uses DCL. So, yeah, I don't know.
I think Toxiam just dropped that new site too. He has the open source avatars, but he has the GLB one he just dropped too, with all his assets, including Vipe stuff. Like, yeah, a bunch of stuff. Like, I forget where is it.
Toxiam.
I know he just blows my mind every time. He's like, I did this and this and this and all of that, you know?
Yeah, another huge inspiration. I mean, when I was making before I made the tavern, he showed me his bar and voxels. Like, if anything inspired the tavern, it was him. Yeah, he gave me one of the eye masks back when it was on mainnet. What a good dude.
Where is I'm trying to find that thing he just did. I just pasted it. Open source 3D models. It's called Open Source 3D Assets. Here, yeah, it has a bunch of stuff via, you know, all his typical. I just pasted it in the chat.
Nice.
It's similar to the open source avatar.
Oh, I'm sorry, Frank.
No, go for it. No, go for it.
I was just gonna ask you, man. So, like, you know, just sort of thinking about our conversation so far, and you've been around here since like early days. Like, what do you think beyond? Well, maybe not beyond. Maybe your answer is speculation. But like, what do you think is needed in order to like really get the attention that we felt like we were driving towards back then?
Do you mean just in terms of the metaverse or Web3 generally?
Yeah. Sorry, just in terms of like Web3 metaverse specifically, like DCL and you know, other similar platforms and everything. What do you think is like the I don't want to say like missing piece, because I don't, you know, maybe nothing's missing necessarily, but bodies up in here generally are not like necessarily this room, but you know, it felt like, you know, especially early on when CryptoVoxels and DCL like emerged, you know, everyone had just got done reading Ready Player One, or you know, felt like we were going to just start like hanging out here and start, you know, immersing ourselves in these worlds and everything. And people did. Like, honestly, that was the vibe, like, early on. You know, people were, like, setting up shop, and, like, you know, spaces were somewhat populated, especially when there's shit going on. But it never really, like, materialized in, like, Ready Player One style or whatever. And, I don't know, on a long enough continuum, I feel like we get towards something along those lines where people, and you know, maybe you could argue we're already there with Roblox and everything. So I don't know, man. I'm just sort of like beating around the same concept here, but like, you know, what are these platforms in your opinion would jumpstart them, or you know, really get? I don't know if we want more normies necessarily, but I feel like we want like at least tech curious normies, and they exist in larger numbers that come visit us.
Let me try to answer that in two ways, maybe. So first let me say, I'm talking to this person in my everyday life who we're kind of like seeing each other, we're talking or whatever right now. And I mentioned actually last night that I work in this space. This is not something I brought up before because it can be so polarizing. And I mentioned all this stuff, and they were very excited about this. But then she was like, "So is it just kind of like?" I mentioned Decentraland, and she had never heard about any of this stuff. She'd heard about the metaverse, but didn't know about the specifics. And obviously, we know a lot of specifics. And she's like, "So it's just kind of like a chat room, right, or something?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, it is actually just a chat room." And she was like, "Why is it so popular?" And I was like, "Well, it was popular. It became popular because everyone was stuck in their house. Like that's when it became really popular. And so we don't really know what it's like outside. I mean, we're learning what it's like outside of that, but we're also learning that it is in a lot of ways dependent on the market, which is like, stuff completely outside of the scope. I can say just the other side really quick, and I'll tie these two things together. I think the main adoption use cases for Web3 generally are stable coins, and like single sign-on with Ethereum, like sign-on with a single wallet is still a revolutionary idea that can have a lot of traction. And I think decentralized social still has incredible potential. And if you like social with monetary rails and likes are worth a penny, it's like when I still mention this to people that like, if just imagine a social network where every like was a penny, like that, people get that. And they get that really quickly. And they're like, wow, that would change a lot of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's basically what we're trying to do. So there's that, right? So, okay. So how do you make those two things come together? I think it's still true that like people are trying to find new ways to organize themselves. And I think collectively organizing is going to be an important thing in the future, just generally. Like as our society makes us more isolated, we're going to continually try to find these ways to like interact, right? I'm not really I think it's also something to be said that the people who were really enthusiastic about this 5 to 10 years ago or whatever are also aging ourselves out of this pretty quickly. So we are actually, we might have liked to think of ourselves as the target demographic for this. And at some point, maybe we were, but I think it's also important to frame it like, I don't actually know that. Like I've never played Roblox. I don't have children myself, but I'm old enough certainly to have children. And, I don't know what kids play. So I think like part of the question is like asking the younger generation what it is that they're looking for. What if like, I heard something today saying that like some of the youngest kids are like being like totally anti-AI and want nothing to do with it. So like that could also be a really interesting development as well. And what are the implications of that as far as this technology in the future? So this is all to say like, I don't really know, but I think that, I think things that can incentivize micropayments and like earning for content are good, and new ways of organizing are good. And shared experiences. But I think we have to be realistic about like what the attention span is and like who the really actual audience is for this stuff. Because there's so many hurdles to like get into Decentraland or anything with just getting a wallet. I mean, yeah, base wallets or smart wallets are nice, right? Agentic wallets that they're releasing now are pretty wild, but people don't get this stuff,
Right. No,
so that didn't really answer your question, but I think we're in a fine space,
good.
and I think Decentraland is in a fine space. I mean, it's very positive. Maybe when I was the most bullish on it is like, frankly, when it was really not that great, and now when I barely talk about it, it seems to be getting better all the time. So, I don't know what's going on there.
Especially now it being great. That's the most exciting part.
Yeah. I think generally there may be a lot more kind of world building stuff that people want to do. I don't know, but I would say for myself as a game developer, and I would have always liked more kind of drag and drop game building tools. Maybe that's something that you get with the Roblox and with the Fortnites and whatnot, but that could really help the metaverse as well. And I know Monaverse was working on that for a minute when I was there. Some tools around that, but that got shelved as well, unfortunately. So yeah,
TCL has some stuff like that going on with the mini games and everything. And I think you're right. I mean, and that's generally my train of thought as well, where like, people are going to want places to gather more and more as time goes on, and these places will become more sophisticated or die off, or some will survive and some won't and everything. But the Web3, what you're talking about with like the sort of microtransactions and overlaying some sort of like Web3 nuance is I think like part of the code that hasn't been cracked yet, and DCL's in a position to do that. I mean, they have all the pieces, all the Web3 pieces already like out there, and maybe that's I don't know, that can also present a challenge too, since they're all out there and you got to figure out what to do with them. But I feel like there's something where people are either getting paid for content or paid for showing up or able to get paid in world for their contributions, whether you're like actually making digital assets or whatever. It just seems like so much of that is where this is headed. And I do have kids, man, and I watch them playing Roblox, and it's interesting for me because Roblox is populated, and that's really what it has beyond any of this shit, because the graphics and everything in DCL are like much better. Like Crypto Voxels, even in its current state, seems to run much smoother. Like Roblox looks jankier than everything, but they do have endless mini games. To your point, but they've also anchored themselves, at least in my kids' lives, and more. So my daughter's 10, so she's the one who plays more than my son, who's a little bit older. But like, she knows if she comes home after school, her friends are also going to be on there. So instead of like hopping onto like, AOL Instant Messenger when you get home from school to see where your friends are at, or like, a million other things that have evolved over the years for each generation or whatever. For at least some demographic, Roblox has done a pretty good job of cementing itself as like, maybe they're not even having fun or don't even like the game that they're playing, but they know that that's where to find each other. And so, I feel like that they've managed to capture that. And then beyond that, it just works like web, any other video game with the in-game currency that's not Web3 that you can't actually, sell for USDC or whatever. It's same shit.
Yeah, I mean, something you said reminded me. There was something. So we built the tavern in the fall of 2020. We say we. I built the tavern in the fall of 2020, and one of the first things I wanted to do was to put a tip jar in there, and because I was like, oh, I love a little thing, and it pops up a little dialogue, and you can donate, $1 or whatever in ETH at the time, and this was when DCL was still on mainnet, and it was not possible. At the time, the transactions made it impossible, but I was like, okay, that's a bummer. So they moved to Polygon, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, now I can put in the tip jar. And then even me with my background and sophistication could not get it to work. I could not ultimately get it to work. And that was a big problem. Then I started using Base in the fall of 2024. And then got really into Base, and I was like, man, well, what if we could just at the tavern, if the tavern could hook into USDC on Base, and I could just somehow trigger a Base transaction that's basically gasless, or in fact where I could send these things out, that would be great. And then, so I circled back on the DCL SDK again, and what at that time was still not possible for me to do this thing. And that's a very basic thing. It's like, I have this build, I would like to be able to put a tip jar in, right? And I wanted just an easy way for someone to give me $1. You have seen me in this space for 5 years as Juxton.eth. I have never made $1 from what I've done as Juxton.eth, I swear. I've never sold anything. I've never asked for money. I've not made any money. I would have loved to have made some donations along the way, right? People at a certain point would have been like, I'm having a great time at this party. I've been here for 6 hours. Here's $1,
Right.
Would have been cool, but was still not possible. So I think that's a big thing, is we're saying microtransactions, the ability to create a build where you can create that situation would be fantastic, because that's going to be a real incentive for people. It's like, I can create this build, and I don't have to make an NFT and then make a website for the NFT and tie these things together. It's like, I can just have a little button here. You like what I do? Give me $1, it's really easy, gasless. It could be easy, but we can't do it yet. So that would be great. And then Rizzle, to your point about, population and things like that, it's like, that's the eternal problem for anything Web 2 or Web 3. You're creating a new product. It's like, you need the people to get the people. Nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd thing. And I think that is actually the one big upside of AI. And like back to maybe my earlier point, like this idea that like, and so you might have a preference, right? Because people have preferences. People might be more social, or they might be like lone wolves and they just want to like explore, or they might be gamers, like they want to go in and all they want to do is play the mini games, right? And sometimes you might feel one way day, and another day, right? Some days you want to be social, some days you want to be like by yourself and isolated. So, I mean, this idea that we could generate a world on the fly becomes like really interesting, right? So it's like you could just do it on the fly. I want to be in a social setting. I want to watch the, I don't know, first person Skrillex concert, right? Or with whoever, like first person that came to mind. So I just create this. And then suddenly I'm in the crowd with thousands of people watching Skrillex. And I don't care if they're real or avatars, because when they interact with me, they seem authentic. In fact, the AI might even seem more human than like a lot of these, frankly, interactions I've had in DCL with people just being how they are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can get actually maybe a more authentic connection through a bot. So there's something to be said for that. Or creating games on the fly. I want to play a shooter where I am throwing donuts at like a cop or something. Like that's going to be my game, right? And I want to see how many times I can hit the cop with a donut. That could be a game, and like just spin it up on the fly, and I can play it, right? And then I can invite my friends to just jump into that with me and play it with me on the fly. And my real life friends as avatars. Like that would be wild. And we see Hyperfy moving to this more kind of like node setup, which makes a lot of sense. Everyone runs their own instance of the thing. It's not the metaverse that we initially envisioned with like this big city, but like that big city didn't work, if we're being honest. Through the megabyte limitations, the very real limitations, the performance limitations that your neighbors have on you. Like that's a whole nother thing that used to happen back in the day. Scenes bleeding into other scenes, the ability to be exploited potentially through an external scene. All that goes away when you can run your own instance. So if the metaverse really starts to become these like nodes, and like it becomes this kind of like interlinking of these nodes, which maybe we are somehow running. Like maybe we're running each our own nodes somehow, like, which I think is what Hyperfy is kind of doing, right? You set it up and you put it on a server and it's just running on a web server or something, right? Maybe that is kind of the model. And that's more maybe in line with the original idea of walking between worlds. We thought it was walking between like different quote unquote like games or platforms. But in fact, like that kind of walking between worlds is like, oh, we're walking between our individual worlds. We're not walking between like Monaverse and Decentraland. We're walking between Rizzle's world and Juxton's world. You know what I mean? And that we start to think about it more on that level. Maybe that's where we're going, you know? And who knows if it's better or worse. And there's something to be said for the big city too. But I'm definitely more inclined lately to do my own instance. Like I'm thinking about moving Frankie's Tavern out of Genesis into its own world.
Big city will just have to be, it'll just have to go through us, man. It'll be Juxton, Rizzle, and Fractillion's empire. And that runs through ours. Yo, dude, it's been great to have you on here, man. I gotta duck in like a couple of minutes. But this has been like a trip down memory lane, but also like I hope everyone is absorbing all this incredible DCL lore, because that's how we got here. And it really, I just keep thinking about the sign, Frankie's Tavern, built by hand, 2020. No one will ever do it like that again.
Yeah, and it was built on SDK6, which doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, it'll definitely never happen again. That's for sure. Yeah, it had to be there, I guess, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you both so much for having me. Yeah, this has been a great opportunity. I'd love to come back and chat more in the future. Thank you for giving me so much time to just kind of ramble. Yeah, I hope there's been some good stuff that came out of this. Yeah, thank you everyone for listening, everyone in the audience who I can see on the screen right now. Thank you so much for being here and continuing to show up. Yeah, it's people that makes all this possible, right?
No, so, definitely. What about like upcoming events on your parcel? Is it like weekly, or what are you doing on there, just in case people want to join in?
Yeah, I am still running the whip meetups from there. I've been taking a couple weeks off here. There's just everything going on since losing my job. It's been a little hectic. I had stuff going on, but that will be a more regular thing going into this year. So Thursdays regularly at the tavern, there will be things. Actually, I say that if I get a great job, that may actually stop happening. I might have to pick a job over that if that happens. And my regards, if that is the case. But I will try my best to continue to do that. And beyond that, I run another project called Mug Club, which is mugclub.wtf, which is kind of what I was talking about here. And I didn't even talk about any of this. But actually, this dates back to before actually the tavern got built. I talked about making the Mug Club like in the original text that I had with Frankie about creating the tavern. And so it took a lot of years to actually get built. But I launched it in May of 2024 on base. And it's been up for a while. And check it out, Mug Club WTF. 3D models. So once you have the NFT, you can get the 3D models for it, which you can use in your own builds. And we're doing some community building and stuff around it. I do it with my buddy Geffens, who is off running his life and not really part of the space at the moment, but he will be back and we'll be making more mugs in the future. We want to make a mug racing game in Hyperfi. So we've experimented with using the mugs as cars, which is very fun, wicked. And doing like a racing and demolition derby stuff, and throwing the mugs and stuff. And there will be some tie-ins to the tavern as well. Like, God, I could talk to you at length about the original vision of Mug Club and what I had thought about building for the tavern, which is actually a pretty radical idea too that we could talk about in the future. So if you'd like me back to talk about Mug Club, happy to talk about that. But otherwise, just check out me on Farcaster and follow the punk rock channel, which I run, which is great if you like punk rock. That's it. Yeah. That's it for me, I guess. That's all my plugs.
Dude, if you want to come back and talk about Mug Club, feel free to do that. We'll be here. And Juxton's been streaming the whip 3:00 on Thursdays. And if he lands a killer job, maybe by then we can get AI Juxton to continue to stream it. Yo, thank you, man. I got to jump. My son just got home from school, but appreciate both of your time. Thank you, Fractilians, for setting us up. Appreciate you very much. And I'll see you all on Thursday, probably.
Awesome. Well,
yes. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. I'm going to continue. I'm going into Blender, so you guys can hop off, and I'll just stay here.
You rock.
Awesome. Later, bye. Bye, guys. Thank you both for being here. Cool. Well, I'm going to head on over and open a Blender and just be playing in Blender for the next hour. And I'm going to jump into a different screen. I'm going to close this one up and I will reopen a stream. So hopefully, let me see. Okay, let me open up Blender and screen share real quick. Give me 1 second, everyone, as I get it rolling. And here I'm gonna close some screens up and let's see. There we go. Okay, hope you guys, let me see. Well, there it is. Cool. I'm gonna close up some of my other stuff. So yeah, what I wanted to do for this next hour is I'm just gonna be playing around here in Blender, building some stuff. I would have Creator Hub open, but when I run Creator Hub, Centraland, OBS, live streaming, and Blender together, it tends to crash a lot of things. So yeah, I'm just going to be building away and using probably some of these resources. This is what we were talking about during our meeting. This is that new resource that Talks Sam did. He also has the open source avatars. If you haven't checked this out, it's really cool. Has we were talking about Vipes earlier. It has all the different projects you can select from. Here's Vibes Hero, and the cool thing is you can download all of these as VRMs, and also just bring them into Blender, and I can just do a whole fun, crazy build. Let's see what Halloween stuff. They've got a bunch of cool Halloween looking avatars, and let's see what this one looks like. So yeah, what I want to do is probably first start out with some of the cool items that he has listed here. And I have another, let me open up. I think this is the one. Yeah, I was playing with this one. These are just some items that I found and wanted to see to create something fun with some of these images. But I think for now, let's just start. This is a nice little kit bash. These are all from different places, some Poly Pizza, some other places that I've created. All of these are actually created by other people, but I just brought them all here. So I'm going to continue and probably add some of these cool items that he has created and just see what kind of crazy kit bash world we can do. And then I'll bring it into Creator Hub or just bring it into this build for next week and see what I can do before I crash the parcel. So if you guys have not heard of Poly Pizza, it's another really cool resource of low poly models. And I love to go on here just to get ideas and also for teaching stuff. I use this a lot. They have so much cool stuff. So you can type in, let's type in, maybe we need another UFO in here. So most of these are, you can use all of these for free. You just have to, some of them would say, oh, this belongs to this person. I tend to put that in the comments and YouTube if I've used their model. But let's see, you can check out each one. It's really cool. And then if you like something and want to download it, I usually use a lot of this guy's stuff. All of his stuff are tend to be really cool. And let's grab some of these nice little cobblestone elements. Let's grab some of that. So you just select it, download it. You can do it as FBX or GLB. I'll just be doing GLB, and basically whatever model you use will have it pops up the window showing like, you know, this model is public domain, meaning you can use the model any project, commercial or personal, without attribution. But if you're feeling nice, giving a shout out to Quaternius, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. So I'm just gonna grab that, and here are, let me put this here, open up. Actually, first I'm going to have a bunch of stuff that I've already backed up. So now I have my downloads as a fresh. So let me re-download it. So if any of you guys have any ideas of what I should do with my build, feel free to leave in the comment and let me know what you think is kind of fun. So let me grab some items to begin with. Ooh, this one looks kind of cool. I kind of want to give maybe around, let me do an ocean scene, have the ship coming and the UFOs and aliens, something fun like that. I think that's where I'm headed. Okay, I'll download that. Let me grab a ocean or a beach scene. See what comes up with that. I've used this one before. This is a really cool one. My dog's here wanting to go on a walk. I said the magic word. I can't even say the W word. She tilts her head and goes, "Take me out, Mom." She's been patiently waiting. After this, I will take her on I can't say the word, outdoors. She doesn't know that one. So I think I'm going to use this one. Maybe I'll put the ship on there and then maybe do a pathway from this back part that leads to the fortress and the gold. This could be like the conquistadores looking for gold. So I'm going to download this guy. You can see So this I would put in the video. Thank you for letting me use any project as long as the text below is included. There it is. Thank you for letting us use it. So I'm going to grab those elements and here are all the different ones that, I don't know what this one was. Yeah, I'm just going to cancel it. So I'm going to grab these three, bring them into my Decentraland folder. Oh, I don't know. We're not on there. Let me close some of these things up. I don't know what happened to my, oh, there it is. There we go. So I tend to keep everything organized by the date. So this one I'm going to do Blender models. And again, since we're in Worlds, we have a lot less restrictions than if we were building in the regular area, but I just want to do something fun and see what happens. See if next week we can just have this parcel. This is our parcel. So I'm going to grab a bunch of these items. First, I'm just going to put them into their own folder. I tend to organize okay, not great, but now I'm going to bring all of those in. Actually, look, I've been being bad and not organized. So ideally, all of these, let's do a new collection. I'm going to call these, so from Poly, actually, no, we'll do, I'm not even sure what to call this one yet. I'll just do landscape. And I'm going to open that up and bring these into import. There you go. So then let's close this other one up and then I can grab each one of these, maybe make this one bigger because I'll be using these. These are giant cobblestone, or I could just duplicate them. Oh, I know my dog is whining. I don't know if you can hear her in the background. Can you guys still hear me? Hopefully you can. If not, I am sorry. It should be recording still. Okay, I'm going to move some of this stuff over. So I have like 3 screens, which helps a lot whenever I'm doing this kind of stuff. So then this can be full screen. There we go. And maybe I'm going to duplicate it and just shift along here. There you go. That could be kind of like the pathway. Let me see. There we go. So maybe I'll keep these all separate for now. And I'm going to open up this guy. Okay, so this castle, maybe that could be like the giant fortress. I'm just going to make it much bigger. I'm going to move it back over here. Let's bring in the ocean. Let's see where the ocean ended up. I think it's hiding under there. If not, I could just rebring it in case. Maybe I didn't see it the first time. There we go. It's just tiny. Just going to make it giant now. Whoa, that was too big. I did not want that. Okay, so. There we go. Make it like that. Let's go top view. A lot of this stuff, it's a lot easier. There we go. And then I'm going to scale it, move it down. Oh, what I wanted to do is have the pyramids kind of show up behind it there. Maybe I'll have the cobblestone path. So it's easier if you lay it out from top view, then you can kind of, it's easier. Okay, let me make sure everything's recording. Okay, so I think I'm going to move the ship. Ship should be on top of the ocean. These cobblestone, I just joined into one. So maybe the cobblestone. I'll rotate along there. Bring it here. And let's move the spaceship and this guy. Let's go back to top view real quick. Zoom out a little bit. Maybe they can be within the fortress. That's kind of cool. Maybe let's make the fortress a little bigger. And let's rotate this guy. You gotta have those cool sound effects. Okay. So this can be the initial little layout, even though, yeah. So there we go. Now I probably want to bring some of this stuff up. Actually, not that one. I'll bring all this stuff up. No, I don't want that. There we go. So maybe, okay, that's the plane. That's there. Bring this up to here. And then this guy up to match it. A lot of times I go in front and top view. I used to not do that as much, but it's definitely the way to go. Makes it a lot easier when you're trying to move things out and just like do quick little plans. So, and you can always go into wireframe mode to be able to see things a little easier. And it just looks cool. I think wireframe mode is just fun to look at. Here's a little UFO. I think the UFO needs a friend. Maybe there could be some smaller UFOs. Yeah. It looks like, there you go. We definitely need some kind of vortex that the UFOs come from. Let's see if we can find some vortex looking items. Let's see if I have some here. There we go. Okay, I'll bring Poly Pizza back up. And then we can dive in and see what other fun things we can open up. Okay, let's look at vortex. Nope, portal. None of these are really what I want. How about like doorway? I don't know. It should be. Maybe some cool clouds. They come from the clouds. They hide in the clouds. Yeah, there's a bunch of cool clouds. These are all really low poly looking clouds. Some weird twirly clouds. I like the little rainbow. It's kind of cool. Moves kind of weird. A lot of the stuff whenever you're in Poly Pizza, you never know. Ooh, I like this little collection. Looks like UFOs would hang out there. And thank you. Copy that later and put it in the description. So I'm going to grab that guy, I think. Let's move this guy over. I think it would look cool within our model here. Let me see if I can get some music going. So I've been doing some new Suno stuff lately. You guys have seen in the past, played with music. Let's see if we can pop some stuff open. Let's see. What can we do? Create. These are some silly ones I did. How about simple, like instrumental, custom, no lyric style, Blade Runner, Tron, like ambient background music. Let's see what it comes up with. There, usually makes me select everything that you can see in the example image. I hate it when they make you work. I already pay you money. Don't make me verify myself. Okay, let's see if it's starting. Yep. So as it does that, we can just play some other background music. Some of this is there you go. It gives us a little bit of something fun. Okay, so we have our UFOs, and now I want to bring in some clouds. And what I'm going to do is first copy that into my files. And where is it? Okay, I'm just gonna models. There you go. Okay, now I'm bringing in my clouds. Let's see where they are. Oh, there they are. Okay, let's go to top view. Zoom here. Scale these puppies. Ooh, they look like they're super high poly. That might be an issue. But since we're just messing around, I can always recreate some clouds. But I think maybe having the clouds be the cool spot where the UFOs hang out. Let's see what it looks like now. Yep, UFOs look like they would definitely hang out here. Look, they look like that's like a little cool hiding spot. Could be landing on one or hiding partially in one. That looks pretty cool. Okay, so let's see what happened to that gold bar. There it is. There's a treasure chest. Move that over there. I had some hut. Some of this stuff went hiding down here. This is the same thing I did without bringing it up. We're just kit bashing something. Let's see. Maybe this little hut can be somehow. Let's look at it. Oh, cool. You can kind of go into it. The gold, this thing could be right here. Be kind of cool. I think it needs to be much bigger. There we go. Why is the ship stopping here? They see that. There's some gold bars. I don't know what happened to the gold bars. I think they're hiding. You could always re-bring them in. Let's bring them in again so I know where they are. There we go. Ooh, that's what we can do. We can have like some gold bars be part of this build right here. Okay. Bring this up. I think these gold bars need to be way bigger. They want to, I'm not sure why they don't want to scale. Come on. Okay, I know what I maybe can do. See if it helps. Not sure why it's not scaling. Okay. Let's go back to top view. Oh, there it is. Okay. Here is our friendly ship. You can have it be in the water. I'm not sure where the hut could go. Maybe the hut can be on the beach as well. Kind of not sure why there would be those here. Those don't really do that. Yeah, I'll put it down here. Maybe they could be covering these. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like now. What is that right here? I don't even know where that light's coming from. I do have a light. I have to go look for it. There you are. Ooh, let's play some of these lights. Let me see if I can change its color. Be pink or blue. Let's duplicate it. That looks kind of moody. Ooh, or maybe it could be in here. That'd look cool. But I think that one will be being looks like it's like rays coming. Ooh, that looks cool like that. Let's change the color to like a blue. I just like having fun. Showing cool. Just a little bit. Trying to see if since I'm in, I could go back to EV. It looks really cool. Let's mess with the light a little bit more. Duplicate it and put one underneath too. Maybe change the color of that one so it looks like cool rays. Let's make it more of like an orange. Ooh, that looks cool. And we can, let's see, ooh, change the formats. Ooh, I like that. Makes it look super moody. You can always grab another one of these. I'm going to bring it up here. Let's go back up. Actually, it'd be cool to get some. I've built some torches in the past. Have some cool lights lighting up. Maybe highlighting that there's an UFO there. Ooh, that looks nice and moody. Yeah, the ship definitely needs something too. Again, I'm just messing around. A lot of this stuff gives me ideas for other builds that I'm going to do in DCL. Probably not all of this stuff altogether, but it would be fun. You could do like a little scavenger hunt within here or something like that. Let's see. There we go. It'd be cool to make some torches and have this be a part of that. Maybe each section could be like cool color coded. Let's get rid of this guy. And this light, let's see. Is this the green one? No, this is a pink one. Okay, we definitely need something for the ship. The ship is looking very lonely. Let's see what we can do for this guy. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. Maybe I can focus it up here. Yeah, I liked where it was actually. That looks kind of cool. Maybe we can bring in some of those VRMs from. Let's see what music it made. Let's see if it did Blade Runner. Sometimes it does some stuff. Um, Not cheesy. That's a bit cheesy. Let's see what it does now. I don't really like that one. Let's see what else I can do. Let's go back to our dark electronic that we had from before. I'll just have it in the background so you can actually hear a little bit of what I'm doing. Let's bring some characters. Let's play with the light settings over here. Increase the power a little bit. Maybe let's change it. Ooh, definitely not that. Okay, just leaving that for a little bit. I do like these clouds, but they're definitely way too high poly. Let's duplicate this guy real quick. Bring a little bit more light over here. Just creating a moody. Ooh, I like those shadows. Those look cool. Sometimes it's fun to go back into cycles mode, but then that's when everything starts to run really slow. But it looks really pretty. Yeah, let's go back to Eevee. So it's a little bit. I'm going to see real quick if it's still streaming elsewhere. Not sure what I'll do between now and next week. Let's see if it's still streaming. Yep. Cool. Just checking that's still working. So now I'm going to go back to that other site I was talking about, the open source avatars. Let's bring some fun characters in here. Thank you, the one and only wonderful Talk Sam. Let's find some fun stuff. Ooh, let's do some. Definitely need some aliens. I know he has those. Alien. There you go. He's definitely. I think I have the VRM installer on here. If not, I'll do the FBX. And it's fun to play with how he makes them look like the voxel way. That guy looks really cool. Let's see this guy. Ooh, I like the alien team guy. Let's add some of these. First, I'll be good and actually drag them where I should from the downloads menu. Let's go to top view again. I like these clouds. I could just build things in the clouds. Ooh, that would be cool. Just a cloud world. Okay. Let me grab. Okay, I'm gonna grab all those, bring them over here. Okay. Let me see if it allows me to do the VRM. No, I still have to. Ooh, what did I just do? Oh, shoot. I killed it. No, and I hadn't saved it. No. No. I think I might have autosave set, but maybe not. Well, there's a big lesson. Let's see if I saved it. Oh, no. My heart is broken. I did not save and I crashed it. Well, I have the video, so I could redo it. So I guess the moral of the story is save always, saved often. Don't do what I just did. That makes me really sad. Oh, I think I need to drink some coffee now. Bummer. Why didn't I save? Normally I always save. Well, okay. We have the basics. Um, Castle, Cumulus, Ocean Test Ship. Okay, unfortunately, I don't even know where I put some of those models. I thought I was good. Ooh, there you go. Okay, actually, I'm going to first copy these into models and then drag those in. Let's first create a new collection and drag these puppies in there. So I should just rename the stream is I forgot to save. Let's actually work from the top again. Let's see how quickly I can go back to my original idea. Okay, from top view is the easiest. This guy there, bring this guy here. I'm gonna save it. Now I'm actually gonna save as, I'm gonna call it Cloud World. Or we can just pivot and just make, yeah, I still kind of like the idea of like the ship coming to the UFO portal thing. See how quickly I can redo it. There we go. Scale. Rotate. Ship will probably be over here. Path. Just going to do it real quick. Actually, maybe I'll do one more. I'm just duplicating and moving along the y-axis. And now I'm just going to join these puppies. Control J, scale it, and then we have to do the whole, wait, actually, before I do that, let's do this guy. And then rotate, ooh, actually like this. Okay, now we're almost back to where we were. Let me save it. So we don't have to restart. But my cool lighting is all gone. There we go. Okay, now let's go from the front view. Oh, it actually should work pretty good. I think we need like a cool ground for maybe like a desert for the rest of it. Let's see if we can find some kind of a desert. Let me save it before I crash it again. And I'm going to bring in those clouds, which I loved, but it was very sad to have. There we go. Actually, let's bring all this up. So this is at the base, the ocean. Bring this puppy down. There he is in the water. You don't want him floating above the water. There you go. And then we had the cool clouds. Save it again. Now that I'm extra paranoid. Ooh, I'm not bringing in the VRM. I'm bringing the FBX. Let's see. And I'm gonna take him out for now. Ooh, I kind of do like him. He's like a giant floating alien. Let's play again with some lighting and bring in the clouds again. That were so cool. Scale those puppies, bring them over here, bring this up. Let's play with that. And let's duplicate this guy. Save it. The weird floating Mr. Alien. Let's go back to open source. I need to add that VRM importer thing. Ooh, that looks cool like that. Let's go see if we can find some cool thing in that free. Definitely don't need our garbage can. I mean, we can add some towers. There we go. I'm going to close some of these. I have a bit too many files open right now. I'm just going to close some stuff up. Let's see how the new, see if it created some darker. It's okay. So I know I won't get in trouble on YouTube because it's music I made. So, well, obviously I didn't make it. I just prompted it. Okay, now let's change some light colors back to the cool stuff that we had. And I like the reddish. I like the purpley, moody purple. What are these from? I don't remember there being bubbles there. Huh, that's strange. There we go. Move it back over here. Oh, my dog's getting very annoyed with me. She is very impatient and wants to go on a W. Our funny floating alien. Ooh, he definitely needs some alien-like lighting. Ooh, that looks cool. Yes, Leilani. She's unhappy with me. Okay, the boat. Let's go to cool reddish. And let's bring some more lights over to the UFO land. That looks nice and ominous. I've been saving this every minute or so now. I learned my lesson. Let's see if I can get this nice in here. That looks kind of cool. Ooh, I like that. Yes, I know you want to go on a. I can't even say the word. Every time I say, even if I say you want to go, she tilts her head looking at me. She is going berserkos. Okay. Let me duplicate that. We definitely need some light up here desperately. This one can be more cool. Purple power. And just gonna make this guy a little smaller. Okay. Let's bring in, let's go to the Talk Sam's free GLB site now. Let's see what we can grab. Hey, what up, JL? Can you hear me? Hope you guys can. This is our special 2-hour event session. Since last week nothing was working, this week is. I'm just playing around in Blender. If any of you guys have any cool builds or ever want to join me on a stream, you can welcome to join me on Discord. Okay, so let's go find an asset that would be appropriate for here. Oh, before everything crashed, we were going to go into towers. Yes, Leilani. What is this? This looks pretty cool. Ooh, I like that. Ooh. Yes, we need this guy. I'm downloading that sucker. We need a cool planet floating above. Now I gotta grab it, bring it into my folders dock. Okay. I have way too many windows. Delete this guy. Give me a second. There we go. Okay. Now let's go to downloads. I'm gonna grab that planet that I just downloaded. Bring it into. If I don't do this, then everything will be all crazy. Okay, let's see what this looks like in here. Okay, let me save this. Ooh, who has the flying smart wearable? Let me see. Oh, that's really cool. I need to get that one too. Love it. Okay, here's my cool planet. Maybe this planet needs to be hanging out up here with the clouds. This is where going into this mode looks much cooler. There we go. Some strange, weird things happening here. Let's see if I can add some colliders for next time, and then we can all go run around this weird world. We definitely need some like hidden access points to be able to jump everywhere. What's this way over here? Oh, these are the rocks from before. They don't need those. Let me save. Hopefully by then, next time I will walk my dog before this event. Oh my god, Dale, that is so cool. What is that? Your cart? I have to go check that out. Your cart and you are flying? Oh my god, that is the coolest thing ever. That's awesome. So that emote has, oh my god, that is so cool. Okay, I'm gonna have to share on the stream. Hold on a second. Let me switch my screen so we can capture. Oh, wait, it's not doing that. I have to do another display capture real quick. Why is it showing it stall? It's so weird. Okay. Display. There we go. I have to show this and capture this. These wearables are so cool. It's awesome. Where are you? Oh my goodness. Look at that. Wow. I'm capturing the race. Oh, that looks awesome. So you're able to like, I need to get that emote. Oh my God. That looks really cool. Where'd you guys go? Your emotes are gone. Oh, Leilani, hold on. I know you want to go, but not right now. You have to wait. And that flying cart. Oh, these are amazing. I love these. Waffle Wednesday. Oh my God, you're making me hungry. I need to eat lunch. I haven't eaten lunch yet. You know, normally, look at the waffle special. These are great. I want a waffle. I know my dog would want a waffle. She's going crazy. I need to go shopping on Emote Land. This is too cool. I like this couch one too. And ice creams. You guys are all making, and popcorn. I am hungry. My dog is very unhappy with me right now. Okay, before I close up for today, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed my weird creation. We'll see what I can do so I can have this for next week's build. See what I can make happen. So, but those are great. I think I'm gonna have some ice cream. Actually, like chocolate covered popcorn sounds really good right now. Hey, what up, Leilani san? We didn't give you some wearables. And make sure you guys filled out that form I pasted earlier. If you haven't already signed up for our every week, I have a ton of things to give away. So let me paste the form again for you guys in here. Be sure to fill that out. Hopefully it works for you guys. But I'm going to wrap it up for today. I love all the wearables you guys have. Now this one. There we go. Okay. So I've saved this like 1,000 times. So now I can continue playing with it and see what happens. We have the floating UFO. He's like, maybe I don't think he's dead. He's just having a good time. He's just giant. Yes, Leilani, I hear you. I'm gonna go take my dog out before she drives you crazy. But look forward to next week. We'll have some more fun guests and be building some fun things. Hopefully, this will be finished so we can all run around it next week. But thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Let's be sure to fill out the form. We'll be having Augie hopefully here in the next week or two when he's finished with his remote, and hopefully Untitled XYZ back again to show us what he's been building. There is my alarm saying I've got another meeting to head to, but hope you guys enjoy today's extended session and have a lovely rest of your day. I'm going to stop all the recording and streaming. I don't know why. I have another meeting.